Go ahead, record.
Let go of his neck. He's not going.
Stole a bike right out of a friend of mine's yard.
Let go of his shirt. Let go of his neck. Let go of his neck. Okay, you're fine. You ain't gotta hold his neck.
No, I didn't touch it. I did touch it.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I did touch it. For real, I did touch it.
Yeah, one of this kid over here, one of his friends stole a bike right out of a friend of mine's yard.
Everybody seems to think that other people's business is theirs to get involved in. Everyone thinks that they can just citizens arrest people whenever they want. Well, he's probably gonna end up regretting that, the man in that video. You can see in that video, this older man detaining a younger man who has been identified by family members as being disabled by choking him, holding him by his throat because he believes that someone else stole a bicycle. That's what he thought he should do. Now, we don't know the identity, at least as of when we're filming this. We don't know the identity of the man doing the choking or the apparently disabled man being detained there. But Ricky Hale is apparently the younger man's uncle and says, why would you come out in the middle of the street and choke? You don't know if that's a kid or not. You don't even know his age. And people in the community are, I think, rightfully very concerned about this, very fired up over, like, of all the like, you want to call the cops or whatever, that already leads to tons of terrible outcomes. But the idea that you would personally detain this person, and if you're gonna do that, you do it in such a bizarre way, just to hold someone by the front of their neck. It's such a threatening thing to do. Jayar, what do you think?
Well, so it may be bizarre, but it's definitely, it checks. Because again, when people want to get in these types of situations, he said one of his friends, first one off, and also stole a bike out of my neighbor's yard. Not your yard, not the person you said is the culprit. Someone else went to someone else's yard and did this that I think happened. Therefore, I'm in the middle of the street choking or strangling actually this person. So when you're strangling someone in the middle of the street to detain them because you have the right to do that, first of all, as you call the cops, there's all of these, we just talked about privilege, it comes into that. And with no shame, no remorse, no curiosity of whether or not someone's gonna come out and go, get your hands off of his throat. What's the matter with you? There's no shame. You should be worried about why people will take what you're doing in the middle of the street. But there's none of that. They're supposed to respect me. This other grown man is supposed to come out and listen to what I say is happening. No, bro, you're in the wrong. And again, like as you said, hopefully he finds that out soon enough. And again, he'll call the cops with no concern about, will the cops come out and arrest me for this? None at all. The cops are on my team. There's no question about it in his head because he's experienced this before. They've galvanized his belief system that this is the normal thing to do. A neighbor's yard and someone else stole their bike. Please, bro. He's on a bike.
Yeah, they definitely think that it's just, those are my guys. They do my work. They would never, why would they be mad at me? I'm a good person. These are bad people. You should be doing something to them. So thankfully, there were no injuries apparently reported as a result of this. It's gonna be investigated. But I also think like a person who would run out and choke someone to detain them. Like, what if that guy had a gun? Like, thankfully he didn't. Nobody got shot. But we were talking about the two fathers driving down the highway, shooting at each other, and both of their daughters ended up getting shot as a result of it. When guns are around, you're in much more danger. Like that sort of guy, would you trust him to have responded to what he thought was a robbery if he'd had a gun? And thankfully, in this particular case, people intervened. If whoever the gentleman that we couldn't really see in the video hadn't been telling him to get off of his neck and all that, telling him that he's young, that he's disabled. I mean, God only knows what would have happened. Like, you gotta watch out for each other because there's some crazy people who their entire life is just looking to mess with other people.
And they consider who's the bad guy. That's why the bad guy, good guy with a gun thing, can't wait to use it. I haven't shot it in a whole 2 days. Here's a good opportunity for me to shoot it. Luckily, again, he maybe didn't have it with him or doesn't have one.